Hello, beach friends. This is a little slice of Kais Island, which we will be visiting once we leave the Goodland Marina and we say hi to a couple of bottlenose dolphins. It's always such a treat when you get to see those animals, but we're going to be gracing two different islands today, looking for all sorts of beach treasures. We're going to start over on Dickman's Island, and I'm going to pick up a couple of sand dollars, and I'm going to tell you what I do, the tricks that I use to keep these intact as I'm out there and about. And at the end of the video, we're going to clean some up also. We're also going to go to Kais Island, and if you've been there with me before, you know that Kais is so very nice, and we will be looking for seashells and anything else that sparks my interest. It's going to be a beautiful day. We're going to explore beautiful islands. So if you're ready to see what's out there for us today, let's go to the beach. So we are going to start our adventure over on Dickman's Island. I'm just going to get right into it because it's just such a fun day and I'm not going to spend time kind of building things up. So I took a boat ride over here. I'm on Dickman's Island. I know I'm going to be here for a set amount of time. Then we're moving over to Kais. It's low tide. It is summer, and that's why we're out here in the evening. Where am I? Well, here. I'm here on Dickman's Island, and then in a little while we're going to move over to here, Kais Island. I've been to both of these islands before. I know they have completely different things to offer. Now, I did know when I came here that I was going to be going to these two locations. Now, here's a little tip. If you see some lump out on the beach, go check it out. You never know what that lump is going to be. My lump happened to be a piece of wood. So, since I know I'm going here and to Kais, I'm prepared for my sand dollars. But before we get to that, I did find this banded tulip because, frankly, this area is just great for the banded tulips. And I did go a little crazy with the Sunray Venus clams because they're so pretty and there was so many of them just kind of sitting there. So all of these are Sunray Venus clams. And just like any of the seashells, sometimes they're a little browner, sometimes they're a little pinker, sometimes they'll have black on them. So I just like checking them all out. Apparently, I got a hankering for some Sunray Venus clams with the exception of one that's a little bit chipped. I'll probably leave that one. But yeah, if they're all here, why not, right? Sunray Venus clam shell. All right, we got ourselves broken banded tulip. Oh, looks like somebody might have slurped out the contents. Something might have drilled a hole in that. So we'll leave that banded tulip, but I'll go ahead and hold on to those Venus clam shells. Oh my goodness! Look at the size of that olive. That is a really impressive size. Now, it's a little beat up. But just because it's so darn big, I'm going to keep it anyway. Wow. So big old lettered olive. And a sand dollar. Now, I did know I was coming to two different locations when I came out on this trip. So I was expecting to find sand dollars. If you know that you're going to Dickman's Island, there's a really good possibility. I'm not going to say guaranteed, but frankly, just about every single time that I've gone to this location, I have found sand dollars. Now, it was on this trip that I kind of just realized that even the broken sand dollars kind of have quote unquote value because they have the doves inside. If you saw my video from last week, we opened up a sand dollar and we know that there's little doves that are on the inside. So when I was on this trip, I was like, whoa, I should collect the whole sand dollars like this. So ones that are lovely, and the ones that I normally only collect are unbroken, but then like I said, it occurred to me to collect the broken ones too. Now, I'm bringing a big container because I knew I was coming here and I was expecting to find sand dollars. So I did bring a big container and it's going to protect all of these treasures I'm finding along the way. Now, finding sand dollars, they're all over the place. They're up on the dry land. They're in the surf here. They're in the water. They can be anywhere. And you're going to look for the sand dollar itself, or I would advise you to also kind of look for those black voids of where the keyholes are. So these sand dollars that I'm finding are called 5-hole keyhole sand dollars. And sometimes when they're sitting there, you don't necessarily see the sand dollar, but you'll see that black keyhole. Not a great example of it because I'm just going a little crazy because, like I said, this particular island is known for all of these fantastic sand dollars. And I was so excited. There were so many. So I'm doing my thing, picking up these 5-hole keyhole sand dollars. Some of the broken, some unbroken. And then I will, at the end of the video, treat all of them. I will show you what I do to get them all lovely and white. Got another one. Yeah, see what I mean about the keyholes? You can kind of see those black spaces. So sometimes you're looking for the sand dollar, but also look for those little keyholes too. So this is where we will conclude the sand dollar portion of the video and get into some other stuff. Now, this looked to me like those coffee grinds that we sometimes talk about when I'm looking for Wenzel traps. And what is that material? Well, it's organic. To me, I'm going to say it's like some sort of wood that's just kind of floating around in the surf there. So when I see conditions like that, I'll start to look for bubbles, and then I'll start to look for Wenzel traps. But I just kind of wanted to see what is those coffee grinds? What is that material? Lovely lettered olive, all shiny and pointy, gorgeous lettered olive. Okay, a little Florida fighting conch that is just so pretty. And another, I'm kind of breaking my rule. I try not to pick these up till the end of my trip. But I know I'm only going to be on Dickman's for a little while, and does that count maybe? Oh, a lace murex. Oh, that's so pretty. All right, it's a little broken on the aperture, but Dickman's has some seashells in addition to those sand dollars. Check out this one. It has like one knob. So this is what we would consider a freak, but we mean it in a very endearing manner. These are the awesome shells. They're just a little bit weird. It's kind of smooth, only has one knob. Ooh, and a spiny jewel box. So that is called a spiny jewel box. There's a bunch of different jewel boxes. Oh, beautiful. And that happens to be a spiny variety. And then this lump of sand here is actually a fighting conch. Hey, friend. So, since we had already talked about the tide is going to be going out, is continue to go out, he's way up the beach. And so he probably would be fine. But I hate to just leave them there and assume that. So give a little ride over to the water's edge. A Florida cone. Awesome. I always collect the cones. And then, what about you? Yep, you're a Dove sand dollar. You are going to work out just fine. So here's Dickman's. Just a little spit of sand at the south end of Marco Island. Okay, apparently, yeah, I was picking up all my sand dollars because I did come prepared. Now, let's talk about being prepared. Like I said, I did know that I was coming here, so I brought my big container. Now, if you don't have a big container, any container will do. If you're here on vacation, if you happen to pick up some sort of snacks, any kind of Rubbermaid, literally anything with a bottom and a lid can keep your tinies separated and protect your sand dollars. Now, I didn't have to resort to something like that. That's just a tip for you. I brought my big decaf coffee container. Maybe next time I'll get one of those giant Rubbermaids. And then that is a top snail. Oh, what else we got? I'm already spying something else. A colorful moon snail, also known as a gaudy nautica. So I will refer to that one shell with two different terms, a colorful moon snail or a gaudy nautica. Oh, and the mud. So mud is fantastic for crown conchs, angel wings. I was looking for crown conchs, and I did happen to find one. They like the mud. So a lot of times, and these shells are so fun to clean because it's not very impressive, is it? But you get home, you scrub off a lot of that grime and stuff, you stick it in some bleach. I am not going to make you wait to the end of the video. Ta-da! So that's what it looks like. You clean off that muck, you let it soak in some bleach, and isn't that gorgeous? So it was totally worth it picking up that little lump of mud, that lumpy crown conch. Okay, so here we have an apple murex that appears to be trying to snack on a ponderous arc. And I was doing a little research. Did you know that the apple murex venom is used to subdue its prey, but that venom was also the source of purple dye known as Tyrian purple? Hope I'm saying that right. Tyrian. Speaking of purple, would you look at this? Now this, I believe, is a northern quahog. The southern quahogs that I normally find do not have that purple in them. And it's a weird thing that happened. There was like a colony. We have so basically we do have northern and southern quahogs down here. Traditionally, I only find the southern quahogs, but this one appears to be a northern because of that purple. And because of that, I'm going to keep it. It's unusual, so I am going to hold on to that quahog. Now, this big beauty, if you have a bunch of people running around looking for seashells and you happen to see this big old seashell sitting there, it means it's probably alive. And I can see the animal. That is the front of the shell. It's pretty big, pretty good size, but I can see the animal in the front of that shell, that black thing there. So I'm just going to totally just leave it alone. Now, that was really exciting, wasn't it? But we've only just begun. We are done with Dickman's. I'm going to leave my container with all the sand dollars on the boat so I don't have to bring it. Keep my fingers crossed I don't find anything else, any other sand dollars that I need to put in there, and then start my journey on Kais Island. Now, you can do the very same thing. I love touring with Allie with SWFL Shell Guide. She comes out of Goodland. She has a new captain. I had a great time, and I love telling people to tour with Allie because she really does want you to find the seashells. She's going to bring you to 2 islands if she can, just to make sure you find some goodies. So I can't say enough good things about Allie. You can do this trip too. Just head on over to SWFL Shell Guide. Now, this is an osprey snacking. It is happily eating, and I disturbed it. I didn't mean to. I thought I was far enough away, but it got irritated, flew off, but he probably knows where his dead fish is waiting for him when he or she wants to finish their snack. So I did notice all the birds here, the bunch of the cormorants in the trees. Kind of fun. And then there's going to be a bunch of herons and egrets and whatnot at the water's edge, just kind of fishing. Just beautiful. Okay, so that's going on. I can still see a couple people over on Dickman's in the background there. But we've made our way over to Kais, and as I said in the beginning, the tide is going out. Wow, big angel wing. Broken though. We'll leave it. So the tide is going out, and I want to go out there because I normally don't have the opportunity to do that. Usually the tide is up, but this will be a nice low tide today. So we're going to get an opportunity to actually come down on the beach and see Kais actually has a little bit of sand here. Normally this is all covered in water, and we're up where it's dry. Now, the tides change. In the summer, the lower tides are in the evening. In the winter, the lower tides are in the morning. So that's why it's a little bit better to come out. Again, with Kais, does it matter that the tide is low? I don't know. I don't care. I'm just happy to be here. And since this is such a lovely view, I think it is the perfect time for me to be quiet and for you to enjoy some beach time. All right, we have ourselves a juvenile fighting conch that's very stripy, and it's got a little beach stuff on it, but not to worry. Some beach stuff is very aggressive and some is not. So that beach stuff did pick right off. Just be careful. You don't want to cut your fingers. Just be careful when you're messing with the beach stuff on the beach. Oh, I do see a bunch of lovely calico scallops. Just kind of delicately hiding in the mud here, or really it's sand. It's wet sand. So those are all calico scallops, and they'll be orange and pink, white. I even like the white ones, all different colors. Sometimes they'll have these little like bursts on them, the color, that white wasn't really a color, it's more of a pattern, which is really interesting. I never know what it is going to be that's really going to kind of pull my attention. For this 5 seconds, it was these beautiful purplish pinkish calico scallops. We have ourselves a lightning whelk. Awesome. There's stuff in there. That means there's no critter. So we can keep that seashell. This broad-ribbed cardita is empty and it's hinged and it's very little. And I just like these shells. They're very common, but I like them anyway. So I actually added that little shell to my personal collection. What about this beautiful? Oh, yes. Yep. Lovely fighting conch. They're heavy. Go careful on those until the end of your trip. Just a little bit of advice. It's hard. If you like them, it's hard. Oh, drills. Okay, I'm getting better. I think that is a mauve mouth drill. That's what I think that is. The drills are, I'm still learning. That is a Florida horse conch with a little bit of beach stuff on it. All right, what do I got? All right, a little, bloop. That is a banded tulip. That's what you were thinking. You were right. All right, that's another drill. I know it's a little bit all messed up. I still think that that's a mauve mouth drill as well. And if you think otherwise, by all means, leave me a comment. I'm trying to learn. Some of these things, a picture book just doesn't do it. I can't look at a picture. I really kind of need to get out there, touch these shells, see them. That is a Morton's egg cockle. Cute little thing. That I normally don't find here. Oh, isn't that lovely? That is a true tulip. Oh, very nice. They get much bigger than the banded tulips. What do we got here? A little apple murex. Oh, that's so cute. A little cute apple murex. And a top snail. We saw one of those over on Dickman's. This is a great opportunity, for like lentil traps. I didn't see any. That is a Florida cone. But I'm looking, like, what do I got here? Oh, itty bitty. I think that's a drill. I think that's one of the, maybe a Gulf oyster drill. That's what I think that is. Well, Olive, thanks for just being very distinctive. You'll never confuse that with, there's lots of different olives, I will tell you that. But the one we got down here is the lettered olive. So I'm kind of missing a rack line. There's a little bit of one up there. Right here, there's not really one, so I'm kind of just looking for like little piles of shells, and sometimes they're just going to be broken shells, but other times they're going to be itty bitty shells, like this Marginella. Yep, that is a wee little Marginella. Oh, there's lots of little things here. We have a little lace murex. Correct. If that's what you were thinking. Oh, another top snail. What do we got? It's, maybe a lace murex. That thing is so tiny. Yep, I'm gonna guess lace murex. Oh, that's fun. Oh, this was fun. I don't find these very often. This is a cloudy periwinkle. And these shells are interesting, or snails rather. These snails are interesting because they feed out of the water on algae that grows on rocks and trees and whatnot. So that is a cloudy periwinkle. Oh, would you look at that? So that is a colorful moon snail or gaudy nautica. Its color is almost completely devoid. It's too bad. I wish it was albino. I don't think it is. I had a little fight with this bag on the beach because I was pretty determined to get it out of the beach. Yep, I was successful. So I spent a couple minutes digging that bag out of the sand and then continued finding lovely seashells like that calico scallop. All right, we got ourselves another little banded tulip. And then I see things at the beach. I know that this is a parchment worm or a parchment tube worm, and I apologize. I just keep moving, but this time I'm going to stop. And if you want to see what that looks like, I'll leave a link below. It is not cute. This is one of the creatures I will tell you there is nothing cute about that worm. I'll leave a link in the description box below. A little Florida horse conch. Oh, it's just sitting there. Yeah, just sitting there. Beautiful, colorful moon snail. And little Florida cone. Yep, one of those as well. Awesome. Florida cone, Florida horse conch, and a colorful moon snail. So there's Kais. That's pretty much what it looks like. And the hurricane didn't really change it that much. It might have pushed some of the dead trees back a little bit more. But this is really kind of what Kais looks like. It is beautiful. See, the tide is starting to kind of come in. So we've hit that negative low, and it's going to come back in. Beautiful calico scallop. This was weird. All right, so this is a calico scallop, but the shell has a wrinkle in it. So that little spot there, it's like the shell was wrinkled. Oh, that's different. And so that, I would kind of consider that to be a freak shell, adoringly. So I'm going to hold on to that wrinkled calico scallop. Huh, go figure. Kind of neat. Oh, another periwinkle. Oh, they're so cute. I don't normally find those. Look at that checkered pattern on top. Beautiful. So that's a little periwinkle. Okay, here's another colorful moon snail. Different pattern though. Not all that colorful. So even technically it's a colorful moon snail. Whoa. But just not all that colorful. This is a calico scallop. And I liked that little burst of color up the front. Almost looks like it continued on the back. Lovely calico scallop. And then this is weird because I just normally do not find yellow shells. It's just weird to me. I don't know if that's discolored. I got no clue. But to find a couple yellow, scallops was just really unusual for me. Really neat. Okay, we can see I call that brown, like that spot like here, I call that the cone zone, and I can see it's starting to get wet. So the tide is starting to come back in. No cones today. Summer is typically slower. It is much easier to find shells in the winter. But that's not to say that there's still not shells here, like this awesome apple murex. You're just not going to pick them up, as often as you would in the winter, but it is still super fun coming here in the summer. I loved ribbed cantharus shells. They only get so big. So that is a ribbed cantharus. There is something about the shape of that shell I just really, really like. A ribbed cantharus. Oh, and a little true tulip. Cute little thing. They have nice colors, those true tulips. Oh! Well, would you look at that now? I don't think that they're really, it was a common nutmeg. I don't think they're really rare, but I had a hard time finding them lately. That's a lace murex. We seem to be okay finding those. Banded tulip, they're kind of all over the place down here. A nutmeg, a lace murex, and a banded tulip. And a wee little horse conch, because why not? I don't think I've ever passed one up, but there's certain shells that if I see it, I'm going to grab it. Always pick up the horse conchs. And probably, the apple murex and the lace murex as well. So that is an apple murex. The aperture, the opening of the apple murex is much bigger than the opening of the lace murex. Colorful moons now. Just sitting right there going, hey, add me to your collection. And I would love to oblige because you are very pretty. Here's another moon snail. So this is a moon snail, but we call this a shark eye. cute little shark eye. Is that another periwinkle? Why, yes, it is. Would you look at that? 3 in one day. I don't think I found one, I don't know, for a year. Kind of exciting. Oh, an albino. Hi. So that is an albino prickly cockle. I love pretty much any albino shell. Still looking for that albino olive. There's a couple albinos I'm looking for, but the prickly cockle, it did it for me today. Thanks so much. And would you look, yeah, so this is one of those moments I'm like, are you, oh. So I was really hoping that that was going to be an albino fighting cock. I do think it's albinistic. It does have the tendencies, but it's not the right white color. And when I say white, there's just a certain white where it's completely devoid of, I mean, like bright white. That shell has a little bit of yellow tone, so I do not think that's albino. It's still exciting to find them, though. I still get excited when I see them. I spend a little more time. They go in my shell bag. It makes me happy. So this is nice. And again, like it's kind of slow, but I'm having so much fun. It's starting to come back. I see a little bit of greenery back there. And with the rains, the summer rains coming, things are going to start getting a lot more green. Kais is a really special place. Hello, colorful moon snail. Yep, you're awesome. So are you. So this is going to be the apple murex. Oh, that's in fantastic shape. It's got all its little divots. It's not really rounded. Excellent. And a lace murex. Oh, another calico scallop. And a lace murex. Now the lace murex, I have found albino versions. That one's just a little on the white side. So a white lace murex, little calico scallop. Whoa, calico scallop. So this is also a calico scallop. That is really pretty. I'm just loving that pattern. That like white bursting pattern and the white around the edges. Oh, that is so pretty. Really pretty. And a hinged spiny jewel box. Neat. Kais is great for those. Oh, yeah. Sometimes the hinges don't stay, so it already broken apart. So now I have 2 spiny jewel boxes instead of a hinged spiny jewel box. Oh, another yellow scallop. Excellent. It's just different for me, and I love seeing some things that are different. And you know what? It's just one of those things, like I can come to the beach and I'm going to see the same shells, but it just is still exciting. This is a lace murex. What's the color going to be like? Is that going to clean up okay? Look at the size of it, the pattern. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could probably drop me off every single day, and every single day I'd have myself a great time. All right, so is that going to be 2 spiny jewel boxes or a hinged spiny jewel box? I will try to be careful with it. I will put that in a little container and try to be careful. So there's a lace murex. Oh, look at the size difference. That's a wee little one. I wish I knew. I do not know how long it takes for these shells to kind of grow. I don't know. Just interesting though, right? So that one's going to clean up fine. There's lots of beach stuff on it. Beach stuff doesn't bother me. Not one iota. All right, so here is another one of those colorful moon snails. Just doesn't have all that much color going on. Might have been hanging out here for a little while. Not like this one. Wow. Oh, I just love when it has all of those rich colors. Absolutely beautiful, gaudy Nautica. Yeah, that shell was yelling for me. Beautiful. And again with the beach stuff, I just kind of flick some of that off. No big deal. And bleach when I get that home, pretty much take care of the rest of it. And when my time at the beach is coming to a close, I typically will just stop for a minute, breathe, take a deep breath in, look at my surroundings, and just feel really grateful that I get to do this, and really grateful that I get to share it with you all. So thank you so much for coming along with me. So our time out on the beaches is coming to a close, but we're not quite done yet. There's a couple of other things I do want to talk about. I did remove a little bit of garbage from the beach. it only came to 3.8 ounces. However, when you add that all up, after all the garbage I've been taking off the beach, it adds up to a little bit over 34 pounds of garbage. So I'm happy to leave it better than I found it. Now, I do take a couple things other than garbage off the beach, like the sand dollars. And like I said, it had occurred to me that I can take the broken ones too, because perhaps I can eventually, maybe sell them to somebody and they'll get to open that up and experience the sand dollars also. I've got great ideas, no time. Anyway, what I do with my sand dollars is I use hydrogen peroxide. So all of them are going to go in here. I'm probably not going to treat the broken ones, but the ones I want to keep, I just layered them all in this container and I'm going to cover them with hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide will not weaken or damage the sand dollars, and it does make them white. And the best part for me is that I don't have to worry if I forget them that anything bad's going to happen, because they can just stay there. It's wonderful. Now, some of them are a little stubborn. Some of them might have a little bit of that yellow tinge, and those sand dollar might not get white, but for, I would say, 99% of them, they're going to get this lovely white color. Now, I'm going to leave these be, but when I'm ready to kind of finish treating them, I'm going to get them out, I'm going to rinse them, I'm going to let them dry, and then I'm going to paint them with 1 part glue and 1 part water. And that's just going to give the sand dollars just a little bit more oomph. I don't put too much on them because I don't like them to look shiny, so 2 thin coats usually does it for me. So that's what I do with all the sand dollars that I find. Now, on Kais, I overlooked this shell. I somehow picked it up, and as I was putting out my board, it's a pitted murex. So that's pretty cool. That is another one of the murex shells that you can find. I guess at the time I just picked it up, thought it was a drill or something, but that is a pitted murex and everything else. So let's start over here with the fighting conchs. So I did pick up a couple of fighting conchs, lots of the little ones. I love the zigzaggies. I got a couple of drills, a couple of the white calico scallops, along with that 1 ribbed cantharus, some of the small Florida horse conchs, got a worm snail, the calico clams, a bunch of the spiny jewel boxes, that 1 nutmeg, a operculum, the southern quahog, the broad ribbed cardita, Florida prickly cockles, some jingles, the sunray Venus clams, along with some augers, some lettered olives, some tinted cantharus, a bunch of the colorful moon snails, also known as gaudinauticus, some of the calico scallops, as well as a couple banded tulips, some apple murex, some lace murex, that 1 pitted murex, it did need a little bit extra time, top snails, lightning whelks, Florida cones, and then here's kind of my favorite little smattering, some of those periwinkles, the true tulips. What else did I, the almost albino fighting conch, and that one, the crown conch that I cleaned up, the wrinkled shell. So frankly, it was just fun, especially for a day where it's slow, it's summer, it shouldn't necessarily, be lots of shells, but there was tons of stuff and fun was had by all. Patreons, welcome new Patreons. Thank you so much for helping support me and letting me go out and do these kind of things. Next week, we're going to another island. I know, shocking. We're going to Key Waden. It was pretty awesome. That's all I'm going to say is Key Waden was also very, very kind to me. So I hope you have yourself a great week, and I will see you again next Sunday.